fix my hat here. Been around doing a lot of creating, trying to keep the audience entertained and keep everyone up with the channel. I appreciate everyone who subscribed to the channel, joined the channel, and it has helped me grow quite a bit. As you know, when I started this channel, the channel was to bring voices that don't get heard and also bring a different point of view with this channel. I tapped into the horse racing world, which I really do love, and it has helped me grow, and I've helped them, I believe, at least I hope so. In this video today, I'm just going around on Rexdale so you get a better idea of the area where it's very close to the Woodbine Racetrack. This is the home of the Woodbine Racetrack, Rexdale, and you'll see in a minute that this area, this wasn't how it used to be. Now, as time gone, this has changed, and lots of housing area, man, it's completely changed. So I'll take a minute here. Now, as I look back and look at Kipling and Rexdale, and I remember back in the 80s, and we used to come down here. I used to take the bus down here. I had a cousin who was working at the Woodbine Racetrack, and he was really new to the area, and there was a long gap between where the bus would turn around from Islington and Bergamot. That's going back many years ago, and you would have to walk if you take the Islington bus, which now surpasses the destination where it used to go, and you would have to walk some major intersections, which would be Islington, Kipling, Martin Grove, Highway 27, and then get to the Woodbine Racetrack in order to get down there and do your business. So it was quite a walk. So we used to walk down here with my cousin just to keep his company, and there was nothing in the area. Like, you'll see all these businesses right now on the side, like blue collar businesses, little businesses and so forth. But back then there was nothing. I'm not kidding you. It's just lots of bush, nothing, open land, nothing really happening. So those were the times. I wish I had video back then, or even some pictures. I might be able to pull up something somewhere and just give a brief background of the history of this area. I'm going to make some stops here and there, and just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, so you have a good picture of this Rexdale. We call it North Etobicoke, some people call it Rexdale. Now, Rexdale has a reputation. You just got to look it up, Google, you'll see. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. That's deep. That history is deep, but that's what do you call late history. There's lots of early history when it comes to Rexdale. You know, back then it wasn't so multicultural. I'm talking about way back. That's what I'm talking about, like way back. I'll dig up some more history on that era, so you get a good idea, and you'll understand how this area was formulated, and maybe it will shape the way how you see things afterwards. But definitely Rexdale wasn't that multicultural compared to now. Now there's lots of Middle Eastern people in the area, lots of different people from different parts of the world, and I guess late comers may think that this is how it always was, but definitely was not like that. On the side here, there is, I think there's a detention center. I'm not sure if it's still there. Over here on the left. or it used to be. Maybe it's moved. Hotels and plazas. All this was just open field on the to my right. I mean, up until maybe maybe about 10, 15 years ago, that was nothing. It was all open field on the right. So you'll get a good understanding of how the Woodbine Racetrack must have felt to people just working at the racetrack. You come down here, you see all these trucks. Those are all relatively new. There's a plaza here and a storage center here on the right. Let's go across here, have a look. All right, so back then in the 80s and the 90s, early 90s, there was none of this here. This was not even thought about. This was all bush, all open land. There was the Woodbine Mall. You'll probably see it coming up real soon, way on the other side of this complex. That was there. But all this stuff here, nah, this wasn't happening. And it was the big long walk down to the racetrack and people doing their business. Today's Easter Sunday, by the way, and I don't know why all these cars are in the parking lot, but pretty sure somebody has to eat and must be some stuff going on. But we'll see. I'll drive around here. Maybe I'll get someone who's familiar with the area, might be able to tell me a little bit more. You never know. So now in these modern times, persons working at the Woodbine Racetrack would have places like this shopping area here, Fortino's, which is a major food store. Of course, there's a liquor store right across there, LCBO. There's many different places where they could shop, and you get a chance, get a break. You come over and do some shopping, do some browsing, do some socializing, mixing, mingling, and so forth. But back in the days, I'm telling you, back in the early days, there was none of this. None of this was happening. Gas stations, all this was all open land. And there's people who can relate to this and may be able to comment on some of this and tell me what it felt like back then. For those of you who are joining this channel for the first time, I'm a content creator, and I realize that many of you click on the link, but you haven't yet subscribed. Please do subscribe. It helps the channel grow, it helps me grow, and I appreciate it. So we can do lots of amazing work for you. This housing complex, this housing area, this came probably about 20 years ago, just across from the Woodbine Racetrack. And I remember, well, just below this area, there's the big park in Toronto. I've ridden my bike down there many times. So you'll see lots of wildlife, rabbits, deer, lots of animals. Every now and then you'll run into one here and there. But back then, you know, definitely was not the housing area. Take a little trip across to the Woodbine Mall. It's been around. It's changed quite a bit. They said business slowed down over the years, but they've got like I don't know, these storages for cars. Got trailers, you know, all kinds of stuff here happening now because I guess the owner of the mall, I guess he's had to find means and ways of making this place make money somehow. So still lots of activity. Take a look here. Condos now. There's a condo there. That wasn't there 10 years ago. Right across where you see that building sticking up in the air, I think that's part of the hotel recently built for the Woodbine Racetrack. Maybe we'll go across there, check it out. So let me get back to where I left off. So all those buildings we just saw, that was vacant. There was nothing there. That's right across from Woodbine Racetrack, across from Woodbine Mall, and that was nothing. So I'm just trying to get give you a good indication of what it was like around here back in those days. Down here, to the right and to the left, there's actually a little graveyard right there, a little cemetery. That was there. That was there for a long time. Probably family heritage or something. Maybe I'll have a peek in there one day just to give a little bit more information. And right here to the right, these are relatively new, like within the last 5 years, 5-6 years. This is an area where I'm really familiar with because I spent 10 years living down here, and that plaza right there wasn't there until lately, within the last I don't know, last 6 years or so, and definitely was not there. So back in the earlier days, this neighborhood right across from the racetrack was not here, wasn't existing. And again, you had open land, none of these houses around here available, which the whole scope of the neighborhood has changed over the years. Hoping that I can find somebody who I may be able to speak with. As you can see, it's still spring in the Toronto area, and the leaves haven't arrived yet on the trees. Trees are still very bare. Looks really boring, gloomy, not much to do. So people are inside, not a whole lot of activity. But people usually find malls, find areas where they can communicate. On a day like this, you probably find a home, you have a family dinner, and have a good meal, something like that. That's what people usually do. It's quite boring sometimes, but you got to make it your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and see some fellas, some familiar faces, and we're going to check out an interesting little project happening. I think it's worth looking into. So you'll see very shortly.